All right, so this video we are taking a look more in depthly at the U.S. system, the U.S. economy. So when we talked about in Chapter 2, we talked about traditional command and market economies. And then we started this chapter, we talked about the free enterprise system. Well, what we already know is that the U.S. does not have a pure market economy, and we don't have a pure free enterprise system either. We have what we call a modified free enterprise economy, which is basically free enterprise with some government involvement. Now, if you remember from the last video, the free enterprise is going to be when we have the factors of production owned by individuals, because we have capitalism. So free enterprise, capitalism, same thing. But in the US, we also have some government involvement, and so that's when we get the modified version. So modified free enterprise economy, also known as mixed economy, right? So mixed economy we talked about at the end of Chapter 2. So why are we revisiting this? Well, because if you remember back to Chapter 2, we talked about something called the circular flow diagram. We talked about the circular flow was an economic model that simplified a market economy. Well, now we got to revisit this. And so we got to revisit that circular flow because we don't actually have a pure market system. So we are missing things. So we're going to revisit the circular flow. So we're going to do circular flow revisited. And when you redraw this in your notebook or your binder, because yes, I do want you to redraw it, when you redraw it, please make sure that you spread out your boxes. So I have my 4 boxes here, my individuals, my factor market, my businesses, and my product market. But notice I spread them out. I'm leaving lots of space in the middle because the middle is where we're going to add stuff. Okay, so this video I'm just going to review the stuff from Chapter 2 real quick. In the next video I will actually add the stuff in the middle, and we will go through an example. So first thing is that remember that because we're talking about capitalism, or at least we have some capitalism, the factors of production are owned by individuals. And who wants those factors of production? Businesses. So as a result, we have individuals going to have the factors of production, businesses want them, but they don't always know each other. So we have to use the factor market. So we have individuals bringing our land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship to the factor market. And out of the factor market, we have businesses getting that land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Remember, the factor market is just kind of our middleman, our go-between. So for example, if we're trying to sell land, our factor market might be, for example, a real estate agent. They're going to help me sell my land. If I have labor and I'm trying to, for example, get a job, my factor market might be, maybe it's a job website, like, for example, Indeed.com or LinkedIn. Or it could be just simply a sign, or it could be a person. Okay, our factor market is just how I know that, for example, that business is hiring. If I have money that I want to invest in a business, I want to try and decide on what business to invest in. That'd be capital, by the way. I could potentially go to a financial planner or stockbroker. They're going to help me be my factor market. So remember, the factor market is our go-between. So now that our businesses have our factors of production, what are they going to do with them? They're going to make goods and services. So we have goods and services being brought to the product market. And the product market will then sell them to us. Now, do keep in mind that goods and services, remember, are going to be made by the manufacturer, and the product market is going to be the store that I go and eventually buy this from, right? So, for example, I could go and talk about Target being a product market, or Walmart, or Chick-fil-A, or Crew Car Wash. Those are all product markets. They're all stores where individuals go and buy things. Okay, notice that all of my blue arrows are all going in the same direction. Notice that my blue arrows going into and out of the factor market all say factors of production. All my blue arrows going into and out of the product market all have goods and services. Now, I have to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to go and pay for all of these things. So first off, I have to pay for the goods and services I bought from the product market. For example, if I went to Target and bought shampoo, then the price of the goods and services is going to be the price of the shampoo that I bought. Okay, so maybe I gave $5. Okay, but Target didn't make my shampoo, so I have to go, the Target is going to go and take some of my money that I gave them for my shampoo, and they're going to go and share that with the business that made my shampoo. So maybe Pantene or Garnier or Suave or whatever company made my shampoo. Okay, so maybe I paid $5 to Target, but Target gives, maybe they give $2 to the company that actually made the shampoo. So the bottom half is going to be me buying my product. The top half is going to be going and getting the factors of production and paying for it. So what's it called when you pay for land? If you don't own it and somebody's paying you for land, it's called rent. What is it called if you're going to pay somebody for their labor? Wages or salary. What's it called if you pay for capital? Somebody lent you money and they're going to pay you back plus interest. And entrepreneurship, they're going to own part of the business, and when they own part of the business and the business is successful, they may get paid dividends as part of the corporation's profit. So rent, wages, interest, and dividends go into the factor market, but the factor market does not own that stuff. They don't own the land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. So all that stuff has to come back out of the factor market and has to go to individuals: rent, wages, interest, and dividends. Now, remember, we draw it this way even though sometimes the factor market gets paid and sometimes it doesn't. For example, if my friend recommended me for a job and they're the ones that got me the job, it's not like the place that I work pays my friend and my friend pays me. However, we draw it that way because A, remember, it's A, economic model, we're simplifying reality, but B, sometimes the factor market does get paid. Sometimes there's a kickback to my friend because they recommended me for the job and they already worked there and they said, hey, if you know anybody, we're hiring, we'll go and give you $100, for example. Okay? Or sometimes, for example, a real estate agent would get paid. Okay? So sometimes the factor market does get paid. All right. Now, that was all a review of what we talked about from chapter 2. So that's nothing new. Now, here's the part that I want to leave you with in this video, and then I'll have you look at the second one, is that what am I missing? I said that this circular flow is for a market economy, but the United States doesn't have a market economy. We have a modified free enterprise economy or a mixed economy. So what are we missing in there? If you're said the government, you are right. So in the next video, I'll show you how the government gives to all and takes from all. That's it for now.